All right. All
Hey, cool.
right, Buck. For those 6 people who are on live, thank you for bearing with us. We really did try to make this an interactive session by going Facebook Live, and that did not work. I think Steph and Aaron did say it might not be possible, but we did try to push through and make something happen. And it seemed like it was all going to work, but it didn't. So anyway,
It was my fault. It's always the old guy's fault.
I don't think so. I think it's Facebook's fault.
There you go.
Let's
Let's
blame it on
sue them
Facebook.
for being a monopoly.
That's right. Clearly not a good monopoly.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jennifer, and I have the privilege of serving in the Mercy Ministry with Redeemer. And as you may have heard last Sunday, there were 2 opportunities to participate in the Redeemer Christmas 2020 campaign. And that is to bless our ESL students, 7 of our students and families, with a gift of $250 gift cards to an international grocery store. And then a second giving opportunity to bless their community members so that they can then pass that forward to the community members who are also in need. And I think, Buck, the reason we wanted to do this was because I think it's really hard for people to contextualize the real need that's in the lives of our ESL students and their community members. So thank you for being here. Thank you for, bearing with me as I was trying to fight against the giant machine of Facebook, and just to hear from you, just a little bit about ESL and the students that we hope to serve this time.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thanks for doing this, Jen. It's a real exciting opportunity. I'm obviously biased for this. Just some background. ESL for the uninitiated stands for English as a Second Language. And if you're new to Redeemer, or if you're just not paying attention in Redeemer, we've had an ESL ministry for the immigrant community, primarily in Arlington, but also in some of the surrounding counties for the past 5 years. And historically, what we would do is we would offer classes twice a year. So basically 2 semesters. And the semester would be about 10 to 12 weeks long. Depending on the number of students that we could register, the number of volunteers that we had, typically we had between 2 and 3 classes, and that would run anywhere from 20 to 30 students. Students are from all over the world. You've heard Eric talk about how international we are as a county. We're talking students from Morocco, from Sudan, from Saudi Arabia, from El Salvador, Guatemala, Venezuela, Colombia, Laos, Burma. It really is an international opportunity for us to reach out to our international neighbors. They come from a variety of backgrounds. I would say most come from either a blue collar or service industry type of job, but we've had professionals as well. We've had let's say a World Bank. He was a World Bank analyst, I think he said. We had somebody from the Saudi Arabian embassy. We've had a small business owner. We've had more than one journalist take classes from us. But regardless of what they do, they're just great people. And I hope that this little video can convey just what kind of people they are with their stories, that you get a sense of what these people are like. This year, obviously, really different. With the pandemic, we had to close down the spring semester. And instead of offering in-person classes at the vociferous request of the students, we were able to offer a single online class through the church's Zoom account. And so we were able to do that class with 9 students, obviously smaller, but they were very dedicated. We met twice a week, and instead of meeting for 2 hours a night, we would meet for 1 hour on a Zoom class. This fall, again, at the urgent and impassioned request of the students, we offered the online class again. And this time we had 7 students, and we just finished with those 7 students this past week.
And I just heard that many of them are returning students, so they just really gelled really well, right?
They did.
Yeah.
Yep. They call themselves a little family.
Oh, yeah. But I have to say, I don't think we pause enough to say thank you for the work that you do for the ESL program. I know that we had some volunteer dropouts in the last 2 semesters, so you really carried the weight of the classes in the last 2 semesters. So thank you so much. And for those of you who may be watching, thank you if you had participated in ESL program in the last 5 years in any capacity. Um, thank you, and I hope that that will be something that you will consider participating in
Yeah, just so we're clear on this, the pandemic really kind of slammed everybody, and so the people who had been signed up for this spring semester, obviously just because of their own situations, couldn't participate. And with a single class meeting, an hour twice a week, it was not so much. And I would say um, I was privileged to do this. This was I told my class those 2 nights were the happiest nights of my week. So there certainly was no burden to this, but it has been historically a team effort. And I'd give a shout out to Catherine Wolf and some of the
the
others who early on founded this ministry and made it very, very successful. So it has been many people at work in this over the years.
Yeah. Catherine Wolf has also been very instrumental in the jobs program as well. So I think
Yeah.
that shout out goes to her
Yep.
times two.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to hear some stories about the students, just who they are as individuals. If I know that it's not going to do justice in the short amount of time that we have, but if you can just share some stories about them, I think that would really help.
Yeah, sure. No, I'd love to, and hopefully we'll bring some color to the idea of 7 students. So first of all, we have Alberto. All of these people are probably I would say in their probably mid to late 30s, maybe early 40s. So no really young people in this last class. Alberto's from Colombia. He's a construction worker. He lives with 3 other people unrelated in one of the duplexes that are near the church building. So he's really very close by. His English is not so strong, but you'll never find somebody who works as hard to learn English as Alberto. He's just a diligent guy, and so I have to correct him a fair amount of times. He takes it humbly and gratefully. There's no pushback. There's no bad attitudes. He's just a man on a mission to learn English. And his long-term goal is actually to return to Colombia someday and start his own business. Rosemary, another student, also from Colombia. Rosemary lives with her adult daughter. She's a bit shy, but she has a quick smile. She has a pretty profound faith in God. She's constantly thanking God for all kinds of things, which is a delight to hear. Until the pandemic, she was working in a cleaning company. And obviously when the pandemic hit, that company closed down. She then worked a series of jobs in various restaurants, but they would lay her off periodically. So it's been a tough time for her. So recently, through the generosity of a Redeemer couple, they gifted her one of their used car. And what this has done is allow her to go back to work to the cleaning company, which is opened back up, and to a more stable job. Nail is a fascinating story to me. Nail is from Venezuela. She also lives with her grown daughter. She's bright, she's well educated, she's got an easy laugh, she's a really good sense of humor. She was a journalist in Venezuela and had to flee the country when things there began to fall apart. Freedoms were curtailed, including freedom of the press. Even though she was a journalist there, because of her English, it's difficult to find work. She works as a nanny and has been doing that, I think, for over a year now. And as a side note, she has a hearing on December 21st for her amnesty claim here in the US. So if people could be praying for that, that would be great.
Yeah.
Aldrin and Floor. Aldrin and Floor are the couple of the year in my book, also from Venezuela. They have 2 sons. They also fled the country because of the deteriorating conditions there. They had actually lived a pretty prosperous life in Venezuela. He was an accountant in Venezuela. But here, the only work he could find was as an Uber driver. And because, again, of the pandemic, he had to stop that. So he's been unemployed for several months now. What he does is he works part-time work delivering groceries. His wife, Floor, worked in a phone company here in the US, but was also laid off. So she works with him part-time delivering groceries. And I say they're the kind of the couple of the year. Adversity tests a marriage like nothing else. And these people have just flourished as we watch them. They'll come onto the screen. Sometimes they're late from delivering groceries. They have it's clear they have a great love for each other. They have a great sense of humor. They tease each other mercilessly. They both give each other a hard time, but the support for each other is very, very clear. Dulce's from Venezuela. Also, she left, well, because Venezuela. She works for a nonprofit here in the area, helping other immigrants get adjusted, and she does, I think, some part-time work as like a travel agent. I don't know her as well as the others, but she really has a heart for helping other people. She has a reputation. She's a kind of a quiet woman, smart, but she has apparently a pretty large impact, especially in the Venezuelan community here in the area. And then finally, Aziz. Aziz is from, as you can tell, not Latin America. He's from Morocco. He's a journalist here. So he works for a company. He writes in Arabic, but he's working hard to learn English because he would like to publish in English as well. He's married. He has a young son. He's bright. He's very curious. He's always asking me questions about the United States, and very well educated as well. And it's fun to watch him as he fits in with these Latin American students, because it's the gang of Latin Americans and Aziz, but he's not daunted by that, and he'll say funny things, but always in a respectful way. He clearly enjoys the company that he's fallen in with. And it's interesting because some of these people are not, I mean, they're not only from a different country, but kind of a different work experience. It makes no difference to Aziz. And I paint all these stories because I wish you all could meet these people. They work as much as they can during the day. They work a full-time job, some of them more than 8 hours a day, and then come to class twice a week in the evening. They never complain. They're always grateful. They have a great sense of humor. There's a lot of laughter that goes on in the class. They're supportive of each other as they're learning English. They often try to help each other when they shouldn't be, which is a point of much humor, and make fun of them when they do. And at the end of every class, they express their thanks. Every time, every single time. I never have left a class without feeling uplifted and feeling a deep sense of gratitude for having spent the time with them that I did. It's not labor to do this.
That's beautiful. I just for people's awareness, Redeemer has rallied along many of these people, many of these students during the pandemic. So we have assisted them with rent assistance, the groceries, and utilities, just in small ways that we can. And so I'm familiar with some of these names, but just hearing more about them is just, gosh, they're just amazing people, hardworking, amazing people.
They're the kind of neighbors you would like to have.
Yeah. And so Redeemer, these are the people that we're asking you to bless this Christmas season. I mean, the pandemic, as I mentioned, has just really made their livelihood more difficult. And we want to give them, each $250 grocery gift cards from international stores in their area. And so we are asking you to donate any amount towards that gift card so that we can bless them this Christmas. That's 7 families, $250 each. That's $1,750 total for this first gift opportunity. Now you can give this through our regular giving page or by going to christmasforarlington.com and clicking give. You can also do this by check and then just write in Christmas for Arlington in the memo line. I just really want to emphasize that these people, they are our neighbors. They live here in Arlington, Alexandria, and they're the kind of neighbors that, I think we want living right next door to us. But Buck, just kind of going back to the students again, I realized that they're not just hardworking, amazing people for just, on their own right and just living day to day, but I hear that they are also the kind of neighbors who are giving back into their communities. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I'm really glad you're asking about this, because this is what I'm most excited about, frankly, with this offering. These
Mm,
people are incredibly generous, and let me give you 3 examples. So Flor and Aldrin. Now, this is a couple from Venezuela, former accountant. They're unemployed and have been unemployed for months now. They have made repeated trips to the clothing exchange that is there at AUMC to donate bags of clothing.
mm,
Um, so, and they've asked me in multiple times, how else can we help?
mm,
They have a heart to help other people. Nayla, the former journalist, now a nanny from who's from Venezuela also, has been trying to set up a one-day food fair here in Arlington for Venezuelan immigrants and refugees who don't have enough to eat. And she's also worked with a group, a Venezuelan group, that sent food, dry goods, and clothing back to Venezuela, to an area that had been badly affected by flooding. And that's just Nayla's heart, is to help her fellow Venezuelans. Aziz from Morocco, um, he recently told me about a friend of his, also from Morocco, who's here in the United States and had lost his job. And Aziz was trying to help him find transportation, because with no transportation, obviously, it's a
mhm,
much more difficult
mm,
situation for finding work. And so Aziz was asking, is there anything we could do to help this friend of his find transportation? It's just humbling. It's like you said, these are hardworking people. They're strangers in a strange land trying to make a new life. And they have to learn this new language and new customs. It does remind me not to complain about the good life the Lord has given me. Um, and one last thing, they've repeatedly told me they appreciate learning English. English. Actually, meeting only twice a week, you're not going to learn a lot of English, to be frank. But they keep coming back. All of these people have been attending class for at least 1 year, and in some cases more than that. It's always like, why do you come back? And what several have told me is they don't know their neighbors. Their neighbors don't speak to them. And so they have very little neighborly contact with Native speaking Americans, maybe at their job, maybe not. But what they do get when they come to this ESL class is a whole different experience of America. Uh, they, 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 again, I, I want to say many, but I don't want to speak out of turn. What I hear again and again is how important this ministry is for them to come in contact with their neighbors and to be treated in a human, neighborly way, whether they know it or not, with the love of Christ. And that means the world to me as far as what this ministry is about.
I'm so encouraged by this. Yeah, I think we just need to kind of let that sink in for a little bit. I, I am very jealous that you have this connection, a meaningful, deep connection with these students. So I hope this will be an invitation for myself as well as others to participate in the ESL program, to meet these amazing souls in Arlington. And so, Redeemer, this is why we're asking you to participate in a second giving opportunity. It's a gift card, an additional $250 gift card for our 7 students to then bless their community members. That would be additional 7 families. So that would be an additional $1,750 for a total for the second gift opportunity. And once again, we're asking everyone to donate any amount to both of these opportunities, all rolled into one, so you don't have to specify which, but we're asking you to give any amount that you feel led to this Christmas 2020 campaign that we're doing. Now, you can once again go to our giving section. There's a regular giving section on the Redeemer website, or go to christmasforarlington.com and clicking give and selecting Christmas for Arlington as an option. And once again, you can send a check and just put a memo line Christmas for Arlington, so we are properly sending in the right direction. You know, my family moved here. We immigrated here when I was 9. And so I think I was too young to really understand the concept of foreign land and, foreign communities and neighborhoods. I think I was just excited to be here. But I knew that my parents had to navigate being
Yeah.
in this country, barely speaking the language, and
Yeah.
having to navigate life, work, school for us, and the culture, the new culture. And I just know that they worked very hard for my brother and I to be where we are today. And
Yeah.
so I would love an opportunity for our church to rally along these students and their community members and being able to bless them this Christmas.
Yeah. Again, I wish I could help you understand what this particular effort is going to do. These Most of these people have received some form of assistance from Redeemer, and that's because of the generosity that all the members have in giving to the church. I know for a fact that the most meaningful gift that will come out of this is not what we give to these students, but giving them the opportunity to share. I know these people, and I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that will express to them the love of Christ in a way that getting something doesn't come close to doing.
Mm,
For their ability to then pass on the goodness and the gifts that we give to them,
mm,
man, that's rich.
mm.
That's rich.
Mm. Well, thank you for joining me today and in inviting our Redeemer members and friends of Redeemer to bless our ESL students, their families. Redeemer, please consider this opportunity in your hearts and donate now until December 15th. So giving us an ample amount of time to get these gift cards and giving our ESL students also the opportunity to think about another family or a community member that they can bless with our gift. So once again, we're raising $3,500 by December 15th. And you can give towards this through our regular giving page or going to Christmas for Arlington and clicking give. Just let us know if there's anything Buck and I can do to answer any questions that you may have. And I
Yeah.
just really hope that we will be able to bless our ESL students and their family and community members.
And
Thank
Jen,
you.
thanks to you. Listen, quick shout out to you. Thanks for doing it. This was not going to happen if Jen didn't have the idea and spearheaded it despite the technological challenges that she's been facing. So, so if I had a hat, I don't even have hair, but if I had a hat, my hat tipped off to you too, Jen. So thanks for that.
Oh, no, thank you. I think it's all user errors, so I don't know if I can take that credit, but thank you.